This episode is brought to you by Peak, the blockchain for real-world applications and home of DePIN. If you think it's time for Web3 to get real, check out their website at peak.network. That's peaq.network. Hello everyone, Daniel from DePIN Hub here, and today we have Vadim from dTelecom, a company building a decentralized communication infrastructure, and also a DRTC, with decentralized real-time communication. Thanks so much for joining the podcast, Vadim. It was an honor to have you here. And could you start by introducing yourself and why dTelecom?
Hello, Daniel. Thank you for invitation. I'm Vadim. I'm co-founder at dTelecom. Yeah, we're building a communication platform as a service, infrastructure for real-time communications. Before this project, I was involved in a few different projects. I was a CTO in different projects, and we used existing communication platform as a services, as infrastructure for our audio video conferences, audio chats, some kind of metaverses, and we faced a lot of limitations. And of course, it was very, very expensive, especially for startups, and it caused some problems about unit economy.
Yeah, of course. How would you describe like what kind of technology were you using before? Were you using like web RTC or just like Google Meet and Zoom?
Yeah, we were building apps like Google Meet or Zoom. So we used WebRTC infrastructure from big companies like Twilio or OneH or Agora.io. So we use their API and SDKs to build our own apps and pass media traffic between our users, between participants of our conferences, between these participants in these rooms, because they could be in different countries, in different locations. So when you have a lot of people in the same room, it could be challenging.
Yeah, so it gets very expensive using like Twilio as an infrastructure for that, right? So I guess that's why you guys decided to build your own backend infrastructure instead of relying on third parties like Twilio.
Yeah, actually, we had some technical limitations with existing providers. This was like lack of customization. We were building rooms where you can split into different groups a few times a second, and it caused some problems with API. So we had to build our own solution to make it more scalable, and we did internally our own version of WebRTC mesh network, where it's architecture where you can hold single conference on multiple servers located in different countries, get better quality, and to make it possible to host hundreds or thousands simultaneously connected participants in single room, because existing projects offered up to 50 participants in a room in 2020.
Yeah, does those protocols, do they also use it with like a mesh network, or they rely everything on like a singular like?
Yeah, when it was 2020, 2021, existing Web2 communication platform as a services, they offered only 50 participants per room, so they utilized single server for conference, and it was the problem with the scalability and the problem with the quality, because if you have participants from United States and from Australia connecting to the same server, it could cause more latency for somebody.
Yeah, of course. For the listeners of the podcast, can you explain what RTC is, or how does the decentralized version of that will work, and how dTelecom is leveraging this technology?
Yeah, we use existing technology. It's WebRTC technology to exchange audio and video traffic between participants. It could be done peer-to-peer, but for conferences with more than 3 or 4 participants, it's better to use a server. But at the same time, if you want to have a conference for 50 or 100 participants, you have two options. You can host on a very expensive server with a very good internet connection, like 10 gigabit per second, and it will be very expensive. At the same time, you can host single conference on different servers located in different places. This approach allows us to onboard independent operators of the servers to provide bandwidth for different conferences.
Oh, nice. So the difference is that when a decentralized way, you don't necessarily need a server, a centralized server, and I'm gonna be a person receiving the information, but also my computer is gonna be streaming that as well. Is it correct?
Actually, we are working on more about It's like a B2B SaaS. So our main idea to provide services for clients who build their applications and they need some real-time communications like audio chats, maybe it could be live streaming or conferences or even just data. But same time, our clients could be node operators. It means that we allow our clients to install our software on their servers and join network. It will give more reliable solution when the network consists of node operators who are the clients of this network, and being client of our network, you can share resources and get some rewards back for participating.
Okay, so I see. So basically, you guys gonna have like trying to B2B model, sell to businesses, and then me as a user, I can pay for the infrastructure. So instead of using Twilio, I can choose the telecom as infrastructure, so I can host like calls with more than 50 people, 100 people, etc. But then I also can be a node operator, right? Like I can be the one deploying infrastructure instead of having, for example, in an AWS, can be in my house, or can also be in AWS if I want to. What are the requirements right now for becoming a node operator? I think a lot of people would be very interesting to know about that.
Yeah, currently we don't have any specific requirements about hardware, so it's a generic bare metal server. It must be located in data center because the main requirement is a bandwidth. It must have a 1 gigabit per second connection, unmetered, unlimited, and the server could be rented or owned. If you want to rent it, it will cost about $100 per month. So our idea to get a lot of point of presence in different countries, in different cities, in different data centers to get lower latency and to make it more reliable. Because as a Web2 single entity, we cannot achieve this goal. We cannot make so many contracts with small data centers in different cities, in different countries. Sometimes it will be not possible to pay for the services. So it's very difficult. Using blockchain, we can achieve our goals. So we are going to onboard people who will join our network with their own servers. They will maintain it and we will share a revenue across the network. That's the core idea.
Yeah. So you guys are going to be backed. Let's say the tokens they're going to be giving to the people are based on the revenue that dTelecom is making. Before you actually have companies relying on the platform to use the service, are you guys rewarding the users already for deploying those nodes? Some sort of like trying to fix the chicken and egg situation, right? Because nobody's going to use the network. There is no node. You have nodes if there is no usage of the network, right? How are you guys solving these rewarding tokens for people just by routing nodes, etc.? How is that going to work?
Yeah, we have a roadmap. We have like 3 phases for our network. Now we are on phase 1, so all nodes operated by us, by our company, and we have a working product where you can sign up, get your API keys, get SDK, and build on top of this network. From the client side, it's completely a Web2 project. You can sign up with email, you can get a free plan, or you can pay with a credit card. Now we have about 5 locations, few in the United States, few in Europe, one in India, Singapore is coming. And now we are working on B2B sales. We are onboarding our first customers. We offer a free plan, so you can try our SDK without any commitments. On phase 2, later this year, we will offer our clients to become node operators. And on phase 3, when we will need to expand our network in particular regions, we will open whitelist in different regions for anyone to join the network, because we do not need a lot of servers. For example, in the United States, if you have clients in Southeast Asia, it's not about compute, it's about real time. So 10 milliseconds may make sense.
Nice. What are the main challenges for building like decentralized RTC network, and where in the world you see this being more useful, right? Because maybe like Europe, for example, our infrastructure is pretty good. In the US as well, but maybe in Southeast Asia or in South America, uh, if you have to every time you need to have a call, you need to actually send the information back to the US and back to the country that you're talking to. What are the parts of the world that you guys see like a biggest amount of business?
Yeah, first of all, most of existing companies who offer such services, they are presented in the United States and Europe, but there are lack of presence in Southeast Asia, so quality will not be good there in South America, in Africa. So our target is there, and the main challenge for decentralized real-time communications is to keep quality. So we are working on a way to control equality of media traffic in real time. So it should be like B2B SaaS always have a SLA, and if clients face some issues, you can get something back from supplier, but it doesn't work for startups actually. So we are working on real-time quality control with real-time token distribution from nodes, from failing nodes to clients who were affected because of some potential outages. Because actually, in our current architecture, we have a single point of failure. It's a blockchain. We keep identifiers in a blockchain, like for nodes, for clients, and the rest is a peer-to-peer mesh network. So not the whole network involved to provide service for particular conference.
I see. Are you gonna have to stake some tokens in order to provide the server, so you can so if someone is misbehaving, they get slashed, or if someone's server just turned off, then you just route to someone else? How what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, definitely. We require to stake our token to become a node operator for security reasons, mostly to keep quality because bandwidth and latency is very important. So in some cases, this staked amount could be slashed and distributed across the network to clients.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've seen now on the DePIN ecosystem, there's a lot of other projects coming online with the same idea with decentralized RTC. Um, how do you guys differentiate yourselves from other projects? For example, there's Huddle 01 that was here in the podcast a few weeks ago. And then what is it, the main differentiation from you guys than other projects? Peak is a layer 1 blockchain designed to power DePINs. Why do DePINs choose to build on Peak? It's fast, scalable, low cost, offer builders are ready to deploy DePIN SDK, and is multi-chain. So when you build on Peak, you're building for all Web3. Peak is home for the fastest growing DePIN projects, with more than 100,000 vehicles and devices deployed, over a dozen DePINs already building, and the world-leading device manufacturers such as Boss partner with them. Think of building a DePIN? Peak has a grant program for DePIN builders. If you're listening to this, remember, you're early. The Peak network will launch in the first half of 2024. Check out Peak's channels for more details and links in the podcast description.
Yeah, from my perspective, for example, you mentioned Huddle 01. As I know, they offering some hardware which you can install at your home or at office and use it to host your own conferences or to provide service for someone else. It's more about retail. We are focusing on B2B. So we are planning to work with the companies on a phase two. It's this year. So we offer services for companies who really need these services, and we offer cheaper. It could be up to 95% cheaper than existing offers.
How has it been to getting companies on board on changing their providers? Are they going to have to build infrastructure, or are you guys going to build some sort of like something that looks like Google Meet, for example?
For companies who want to build a new Google Meet, for example, there are two ways to do so. They can build their own infrastructure, or they can use a cloud infrastructure. If you use existing Web2 cloud infrastructure, you are relying on a single entity, and there are a lot of problems. Even you could be banned on this service. We are based on existing open source projects, so we offer API and SDKs well known in the community. So for some companies, switch Web2 service to Web3 service will not be very difficult.
What is your story behind up to the point to get to the DePIN method, right? Because I guess you guys are building a lot of different technologies. You said you were a CTO from other projects. When was the like aha moment that we like, okay, DePIN is the narrative that we can build on top of, that makes a lot of sense, that's gonna solve a lot of the problems that we have with the cost and like deploy a big network?
To be honest, we are working on this project about 2 years. So we had already existing product when we understood that, aha, it's a DePIN. So our idea was like we can cut the costs for video conferencing utilizing blockchain. Our pricing model is completely transparent, so we just resell a bandwidth, and we keep some small markup because for Web2 clients, you have to provide services to accept fiat or card payments and convert it into tokens and distribute revenue across the network. But we are building an open source project. We are building a community of developers with token incentives to help us, to help our clients to use our product to make it more customizable and reliable.
Nice. So you guys plan to do like a grant system as well for getting people to build on top of it, or how you want to like incentivize users to build on top of dTelecom?
Yeah, our main idea is to offer developers to help our clients, because sometimes we are talking with companies, they don't have time or developers right now to switch to dTelecom. We can offer to third-party developers some kind of grant to help these companies to get on board.
I see that. That's pretty cool. Another thing that I was looking on the website, you guys have all the other things than DRTC, right? You mentioned there are some IoT solutions, cloud storage, VPN, etc.
We are building a communication platform as a service. It's a place where you can get all the services. But now we are focusing on WebRTC. If we provide infrastructure for real time, we will have to provide solutions for recording conferences. To store records, we will have to build some kind of data storage, so we can add it as an additional service. If we will store some records, we will have to distribute it as files, so it would be another service like static CDN to distribute images, videos, and later utilizing the whole network, we can add additional services and maybe some AI services. Like now we are prototyping voice recognition and translation to be built into our solution.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine, right? Because if you guys have a platform that one of the main assets you have is the servers with really, really fast internet, low latency, right? There's a lot of things that's very valuable, like cloud storage. There's a lot of decentralized storage projects out there, but if you can combine of them, like VPN, AI, live streaming, VoIP, etc., I think there's a lot of things that you can do on the same token, on the same project. Starting with what you guys have more experience with RTC node, and then upgrading to the next one is very interesting. I think the decentralized VoIP would be really, really cool. I'm really excited to see how that would play out in the future. On the future side, how do you see this project evolving? Let's say 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now.
Yeah, we have a vision about amount of nodes to be installed in different countries, in different cities. So our main goal is to get as much as possible different locations in the world to provide better quality. we are targeting 200,000 nodes, largest CDN, existing CDN static files. They have some approximately 200,000 servers.
Yeah, just for the listener, CDN stands for Content Delivery Networks, right? Yes. Basically, a lot of people want to deploying files around the world. Instead of all the files being sent from one server to the user, they can distribute that across the globe in multiple servers, and then they can serve from the closest location from the user. I think it's a very standard technique for distributing files around the internet as well. Now, for me, let's say I'm a DePIN user. I like to deploy a Hive mapper or like a Helium device, demo, etc. What is that for me? Where should I get excited about dTelecom right now? And where should I invest my resources, time and money, etc. to help build this network?
Yeah, to get more traffic on demand side, we had a demo application. It was a simple app for video conferencing to show how does our network work. And now we are working on improvement. This application is the dmeet.org. It's like Google Meet, but it's based on our decentralized network. And we have some additional features already on app. It's like you can connect your wallet, you can host some conference, you can talk with somebody, and you can earn points. So later, when we will release our token, we will have airdrop, and we will use these points to distribute tokens. And we are working on more features for this conferencing application. It's like token gated meetings with NFTs or with ERC20 tokens. We are planning to make a feature like you can make an airdrop of any token. For example, you can host a meeting about some meme coin and distribute some coins across participants who were talking with you or listening to you. And another interesting feature for conferencing, it's not only about airdrop tokens. You can mint some NFTs for participants, like you participated on this meeting.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds very interesting for sure. Yeah, so I'm gonna write the URL in the comments of the video. So basically, right now, I can just by using you guys, I'm gonna start collecting some points that hopefully gonna turn into some tokens in the future. That's very like easy way to get everybody to start using and testing, and you guys as well to get some feedback, right, on the infrastructure and the code and on the server performance.
Yeah, you can not just earn points using our app. You can help us with marketing, and we will reward you with points.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. I think that's very, very interesting. Also, do you have any timeline for the node sale? Because that was the phase 2, right? Is there any timeline for that so I can start preparing my servers?
We are planning a TGE in Q3 this year. So I think stage 2 will be the same about Q3 this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's very interesting. Let's make sure to get you guys back on the podcast around Q3 then, before the TGE to really announce that, to get a lot of people interested, because I think it's going to be a very interesting launch, and we're very excited for that. Do you have any other alphas that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I forgot to mention about the media.org. We have an idea about a feature like to make it possible to create paid meetings. For example, it could be an integrated solution. You can create a meeting where participants will have to pay some amount of any tokens to join. It's like token gating, but with payment on entrance.
Yeah, this is awesome. If you want to do, like, if you're a content creator, you want to do some talks and presentation on something very specific, and you can all do inside the same platform, that's better. And if you can do token and crypto, that's even better, because reduce a lot of friction, especially people from around the world, right? There's a lot of people around the world that don't have credit cards, for example. It's something that people don't think about it, but it's true. And it's about social inclusion as well, and that's something that crypto and DePIN does, and then something they're very, very passionate about that as well.
The main problem of paid meetings. We tried to make it as a Web2 company a few years before, but it's very hard to accept payment, for example, $1 with a credit card, because you will pay a lot of commissions and finally you will earn nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about commissions. Do you guys already have a layer 1 or layer 2 they're thinking about building on top? There are some contenders. How's that going? Is there anything you can share?
Yeah, now we are deployed on Arbitrum testnet. It's a prototype. We are looking for ecosystem to deploy to mainnet. So maybe it will be Polygon, or we are thinking about a big blockchain. It's a new blockchain for DePIN.
Yeah, that's awesome. Picking is also sponsoring this podcast, so check them out. Yeah, I think when you're building a DePIN project, it's very important to understand that the layer right now, especially the layer 1 or the main layer that you're deploying on top of, it's just not the infrastructure anymore, but it needs to be a partner, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's an ecosystem. We are looking for the big ecosystem with existing projects who could potentially be our clients.
One thing that's very strong on DePIN is other projects using each other, helping grow. And then for example, there could be other DePIN projects that have some sort of communication. Maybe DePIN Hub in the future is going to have like a call the founder function inside the project or something like that. And we can use you guys to as part of the infrastructure, right? I think the composability of DePIN is super interesting. Yeah, I mean, where can people go and learn more about dTelecom, to reach out to you guys and learn more?
We have a Discord. We have all information there. We have account in Twitter or X, and of course our main site, dtelecom.org.
Is there anything that you'd like to tell our listeners next for the future?
We will be happy for feedback for the dmeet.org.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and everybody just make sure to follow us, also Hotspotty on Twitter or X. We have also a Telegram chat. Don't forget about that we talk about DePIN. There's a lot of things happening there. All the links are going to be in the description. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere else you listen to this podcast. Vadim, thanks so much for the episode. I think it was very interesting. I'm very excited to see where you guys are going to go next. I think the RTC ecosystem is something that DePIN takes a lot of advantage of. And it's really cool to see where you guys are going, because you're just getting started, right? Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
Have a great one, man. Bye-bye.